They did everything right. That's the part that makes this uncomfortable. Mark and Sarah are in their mid-40s. Combined income around $140,000, mortgage in a good neighborhood, 2 reliable cars in the driveway, retirement accounts with real balances in them, a college fund, life insurance, a budget they actually follow. And at the end of every month, they open the banking app. The numbers aren't bad, they're just lower than expected. Again, not broke, not in crisis, just less. And if you asked them where it went, they couldn't fully tell you, not because they're careless, not because they're reckless, because the mechanism is designed to be quiet. Let's start with the house. Nobody explains this clearly when you sign a 30-year mortgage. The 30 years isn't fixed, it's a starting point. They bought in 2012. Good timing, built equity. In 2019, rates dropped. The refinance made sense. Their advisor confirmed it. They saved $200 a month. That's responsible. That's textbook. What didn't get said loudly is that refinancing reset the clock. The 30-year mortgage became, effectively, 37 years. The house they bought at 34 is now scheduled to be paid off when they're 71. They haven't done that math. Most people don't. Nothing deceptive happened, no trick, just a smart decision inside a system where the smart decision often extends the timeline. Hold on to that. Now look at the cars. In 1988, a 5-year car loan felt long. Dealers pushed it. It felt like a stretch. By 2010, 60 months became normal. By 2020, 72 months, 6 years, was standard. 2 cars, both practical, both financed, both sitting in the driveway of a house they won't fully own until their 70s. The monthly payment fits. It always fits. That's the architecture. The payment fits, the timeline moves. Quietly. Then there's the credit card, around $8,000. It's been around that number for years. It rises when something breaks, drops when a bonus hits, never quite reaches zero because something always happens right before it does. A broken appliance, a medical bill, a school expense that wasn't on the calendar. At 22% interest, that balance costs about $150 a month just to maintain. Not reduce, maintain. Over 4 years, the interest alone passes $7,000. They haven't paid off $8,000. They've paid $7,000 for the privilege of still owing $8,000. That's not irresponsibility. That's math running silently in the background while life runs loudly in the foreground. And then there are the subscriptions, streaming platforms, cloud storage, 2 phone plans with device financing folded in, a gym membership, meal kits that pause and unpause, software for a side project that still hasn't quite taken off, around $400 a month. None of it builds equity. The moment payments stop, access ends. No residual value, no accumulation, just usage. And here's the structural shift most people didn't consciously notice. Ownership became access. Software is rented. Music is rented. Movies are rented. Even cars are financed long enough that they function more like extended leases. The economy changed the model. The monthly numbers still fit, so the shift didn't feel dramatic. And this is usually where people start blaming themselves. But zoom out. Between 1980 and 2023, worker productivity in the United States rose about 65%. Inflation-adjusted wages rose roughly 15%. Read that slowly. Output up 65%, paycheck up 15%. In that gap, housing that tripled in major metros, healthcare, childcare, education, insurance, the full cost of maintaining a stable middle-class life growing faster than income for decades. Mark and Sarah aren't losing ground because they made bad choices. They're losing ground because the distance between what things cost and what labor earns has been widening their entire adult lives. And the mechanism that fills that gap is debt, always structured to feel manageable, always extended into a future that arrives before it's fully paid off. Here's the part that really stays with you. The more responsible you are, the deeper into these systems you go. You buy the house instead of renting. You finance the reliable car instead of gambling on repairs. You put the emergency on the card instead of missing the bill. You refinance when the math works. Every decision is individually correct. Collectively, they stretch your obligations across an entire lifetime. The reckless don't qualify for 30-year structures. The system runs longest on the organized, the approved, the responsible, the ones who keep paying. The design is subtle. The effect is permanent. Mark and Sarah are going to be fine. That matters. The retirement account is real, their daughter's going to college, the house will eventually be paid off. They are better positioned than most Americans, but that low-grade feeling, that sense that there should be more left over, that the math should feel easier at this income level, that feeling isn't weakness, it's awareness. They're not failing, they're participating in a structure that stretches quietly. They'll keep doing everything right, and the timeline will keep extending, and nobody will raise their voice about it. That's kind of the whole thing.